DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. And if you haven't watched the 50th episode, which was also a remembrance for Vinnie Paul, I talked about what I want to do, future plans for the podcast. And one of them was bringing on members who either couldn't make it to their episode where the band was at, or just bringing on individuals who I find to be interesting. I mean, I've done one-on-one episodes before, like Justin Mills, who owns Reno's and Tomcats. I actually have I've done Lauren, kind of another, kind of does a similar thing to what I do. But now I want to bring on people just to have the conversation, not just random spouts about what they do, just actually now getting the level of people. And this is honestly, when I made this idea, it was because of this gentleman right here, Mr. Christopher Atomic-Thrasher.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. So, you are the founding person for Insinnerator.
Sadly.
And that episode happened recently-ish with Juan and Ben. Had them both on, and they both threw out a lot of really good stuff. And because of that episode, we kind of now have an idea of where you guys have been.
Yes.
Which is great, because last time we saw you guys play was you guys opened up for Lich King at Whitson, and holy shit, if you did not go to that show, I am so sorry for you, because
that was a fun one.
That was probably the wildest mosh pit I've ever been in.
That was fun. There were some intense moments of that show. Hidden in 10 and Lich King, man, just...
God, you see that girl who just completely ate shit and just stood up with her fucking hands.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
I was like, bruh, and she was whipping her fucking shirt, whipping people, man, like a dominatrix. I'm like, that's not gonna end well.
I remember I saw someone talking to her. I think between bands, and then a set finished. I don't know if it was ours or whoever, but then I saw her again. The ice pack on her arm, and I was just like, man.
I think that happened during Hidden Intent.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it happened during Hidden Intent, because I remember I went up to talk to the merch girl who was running their booth. She's like, hey, is that your friend? Is she okay? I'm like, I have no clue who that is. Whitson is a weird place because it not only attracts our crowd of people,
yes,
for all the badass shows that always go on there, but it's also that party place,
yes,
where you see a lot of just regular Deep Ellum goers just go up top and just drink their asses off. They get really drunk and they're like, you know what, I want to go down there and do what they're doing. That looks cool as shit. And then you end up, that's either ending up people getting hurt, or fights breaking out, which, I mean, it's bound to happen. But I've always liked that atmosphere. It's just a weird venue on its own, because you're always getting that weird clash.
When that show, when I think she broke her arm and someone else broke their nose and such, and I think a couple other injuries. I think the ambulance came, took someone, and then the ambulance came back and took someone, and then they came back and just stayed. And I was like, all right, this show was a success. I don't like people getting hurt, but when something like that happens and that sticks in my mind, that's okay, this was a pretty successful show to have at least a pretty rowdy crowd.
Oh yeah, that I mean, even from Maldivera opening up the night, it was nasty. Just everyone bringing 110%. I'm pretty sure someone almost got knocked dead unconscious during Chemicals' set because every time they play Genocide, you get that last ending riff that and everyone's just slowly going, and then the moment it kicks in, everyone just battle royales the shit out of each other. That was actually the first time I saw you guys. I was extensively impressed, and I always talk to people about where have they been? Because I came into the scene later.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh yeah, Ben and Robert are now also in Die Antichrist, and with Nuclear Blast, that just blows up the mold for them. So you kind of get that going on too. But talking to Ben and Juan, and the reasons they gave were amazing, and I completely am cool with it. They said you guys want to make sure that you're releasing the best product you can.
Yeah.
You've been doing this long enough to where no cookie cutter bullshit's gonna
No.
gonna cut
No.
it. You want to make sure that if you put out another album, another EP, any merch you put out, you want it to be at that next level,
Yes.
a level that most other bands aren't doing here in the scene yet, or just haven't really come across.
Yes, it's an effort thing. I do believe that anything less than A+++ is just not worth putting out, and usually what that means is I think of writing riffs at 27 as like writing a paper when I was in college, and you got your first draft, and then okay, so I got some good points, and I'm trying to get to, you know, for me, because I majored in music, it would be like, all right, I'm trying to talk about this section right here of this Bach piece. How can I really get there and make this the focal point? Okay, so draft 2 is okay, clean some of this up, took out what I needed, put in what I needed, and mixed around other things. Draft 3, so on and so forth, until you have 20 drafts.
Yeah.
Very rarely is it this day, I'll just pick up an instrument, play, and it's like, that's it. That's 100% a riff I connect with. It has emotion to it. It has passion. It has what I'm trying to express that my words can't say. And because it's very rarely like that, this process is taking a lot longer. When we were doing Stalagmite of Ice, it could just be kind of like a violence riff. And it was like, dude, we'll never write anything better. And as we've grown and we've gotten into different types of music like Pat Metheny and David Wise, Brian Eno, Al Di Meola, like our standards have gotten higher for ourselves.
Yeah.
We hear what those guys are doing and how, you know, every record, a guy like Pat Metheny releases something better. And it's just like, I refuse to have us take a step down from hypothermia now.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, it's thinking a lot harder. That doesn't mean, you know, trying to write 9/8 or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, what do we really want to say that we can't say with our mouths, that we want to express through our instruments? And, you know, and finding those words has taken a lot longer this time around, when ideas aren't as new as they were to us when we were writing Stalagmite and such.
And then not only that, then you also have the accompanied supersaturation scene. You have a lot of bands that are coming into the framework, and most of them are great. We have a really good, vibrant scene with a lot of really good diversity. And so seeing bands like, I don't know, like I Am Destruction release a killer EP. Explorer finally putting out their full length that we've been secretly waiting for forever. Like you hear that, and that's amazing. And you know, as someone who's in the scene myself, and as someone who has his own band, I want to make sure that when I put something out, that it's just not glanced over because of the other CD that was put out either before recently or after recently that we just did.
That's a very good point, actually. With that's something to take into consideration, is kind of just how fast entertainment and such. We're kind of like ADD entertainment. These, you know, every Friday new mediums come out to entertain us, and you know, it's you have this big build up to a record, and by the next week, you know, someone else is building up to that, and you have to compete with that now, and you know, you want musical longevity, and in order to have that, you really need to, I think, for thrash metal, especially, you need to like dig deep, and it's usually not the obvious answer that's the best one. And some people may just want to play Violence or Exodus type riffs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, for someone like myself who takes this so serious, and music is the one thing, I'm not good at sports. I'm not good at like speed running video games or anything. So like music's the one thing I have that I'm semi okay at. It has to mean a lot for me to be able to put something out, so people don't just, this was cool this Friday, by this Friday I'm already over it. I don't want that.
Well, Insinnerator seems like a band that gets a lot of recognition, like worldwide. Like, I don't try to kiss anyone's ass, but like
good man not to.
But to be in high regards with people in the thrash community that are just killing it, like the guys in Lich King.
Yes.
I mean, like, Because if you ask my humble opinion, I think Lich King are the undisputed kings of thrash in the current age right now. Just because they're doing things, like the things they've done and they've accomplished without a label,
Yes.
is just, it's almost unheard of in our community. I mean, they've toured the world.
Yes.
They've been to so many countries, played a who's who of bands. And I mean, those people like regularly commenting on your shit.
Yes, and we're lucky. We're lucky to have that partnership with Lich King. I met Tom I met him on the internet, on MySpace in 2008. It was like February 2008, right as we were starting to do demos. And I remember they were just putting out songs for Toxic Zombie Onslaught. And I asked him, like, on Office Politics, hey, in that intro riff, are you sliding down or are you doing the whammy bar? And he was kind enough to let me know, no, I'm just sliding because I don't know how to use a whammy bar. And that just started a great friendship. And I asked him not long ago, like, dude, we sucked in 2008. Like, that was just shit production. I didn't even know what a hi-hat and a ride were, because this was before Juan joined. And to do demos, I would get my Yamaha keyboard and the bass drum and the snare, and then I'd add another track and do a tom fill. I didn't even know what hi-hats and rides were. So, like, on our old demos that will never see the light of day today, there's no hi-hat or ride because I'm too stupid to know that those were cymbals. I'm a guy who with a degree in music that's very bad at music. But but we are just fortunate to have that connection with them, and Tom has pushed us to the moon, and the guys have taken us on tour with them, and just very fortunate. And one thing that I feel like I said, I'm very late to the party and I'm very bad at music. Their social media has always just been top notch.
Oh yeah,
and
great. Their merch
and their social media has just like
their approach to everything.
Yes.
Jeez.
And I feel like they take a smart approach, which we've taken for a while. Like, I don't think you could ask Lich King, like, what's your metal scene? And I don't think they would say Massachusetts or Boston. The same way we don't really say we're part of the Dallas metal scene. That's not a knock on anyone. What I feel like our scene is in Lich King's is we're internet bands. We want to reach the worldwide like that.
Exactly.
Rather than just like, this we live in Dallas, and Dallas is our nucleus, and we're happy to play at Reno's and make an appearance, and we support Maldiver, we support Vault Dweller, we support Power Trip, Steel Bearing Hand, Exploder, Electric Vengeance, but Skull Archer, but we're an internet band because we want to reach the world. There's someone in Japan that doesn't speak English that can still connect with our music and know what we're saying just through the 12 notes, and that's more of what we're going for with someone in Mexico, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, wherever they may be, Russia. That I think Lich King took a smart approach too, and just rather than wanting to do it in person, use the internet to put their stuff out there, and that just got them right up there.
Yeah, they realized once they were smashing out their local scene that they're like, man, we have the potential. And every band that we've mentioned, and also just every band on this wall, has the exact same potential to do that if they wish. And for me personally, I feel like as a band, and I'm super critical of us. I actually hate our demo.
I love your guys' demo. What I've heard on YouTube, I love it.
I appreciate it.
But I can sympathize. I'm the same way. Like when I know our music, I can hear all the little idiosyncrasies and be like, oh come on, that palm mute was a little louder than the other one.
Or just like I don't know, like the first 15 seconds of ambush, where I'm like, fucking, I'm like, why did I go that fast? Why did they play that fast? And then I remember that was right before a debut show, and I was still very green. I was still learning my voice. I still am a lot, okay. But that was when my stamina and voice would last an hour and a half in practice. And so we already practiced you know what, this is great, let's record a demo. Next practice comes in and Nick brings in, who was the person who introduced me to Lich King actually, even though he's no longer in the band. He brought in this huge soundboard that he got from work, and we belted it right on the garage. And the thing is that they kept messing up some of the songs, and so the thing is they always forgot to save my voice at the beginning. And so I'm like, oh shit. And so there's some cracks in my voice and I'm pretty critical of. I kind of thought everyone else that was on the demo, kind of thought everyone else did really good. I think really also the other main issue with that demo was you just really couldn't hear Anthony's bass, especially in Exile by Arrows, which is, that's the song where you needed to hear Anthony play.
Sure.
So, but now with the new lineup that I have, because now I have Jacob from Exploder, which is...
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Then he knocks himself harder than I do, and I love it because those are the kinds of people you need around you.
Sure.
The people that want to build with you, and Reed's great. Reed has been a cat who's kind of been playing with a bunch of punk bands. Like he's actually played in a band with one of the guys in Corkscrew Nosedive in a band called Social Kills. So he's already used to like the really fast playing style. So when he came in, thanks to my drummer Timothy at the time, it kicked off amazingly. So
very nice.
You always get that crowd. But going kind of reeling back, because I kind of been going off on tangents. Our demo actually does get pretty good reception, and
awesome.
And I'm glad that it's out there for people to hear, because when we put out the full length, I want everyone to be like, fuck that demo, this is the shit.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because we're gonna take all those songs and we're gonna make them like 10 times better on the full length. And then we already have a bunch of new stuff. In fact, I don't know if you saw it, I recently posted up our newest song that we've actually played at a couple shows this year, but it was a cursed song in a way.
It was a live recording, right, that you posted?
Yeah,
I saw that one. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah, I love stompy shit. So, I'm like, we need a song that is going to put sledgehammers into the floor.
Yes.
And so that's why, and that's kind of, and the great thing is we all wrote that song. The thing is with riffs, since I don't know a goddamn thing about music, so I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum of you. How I came up with those two beginning riffs was just da 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 in my phone. I'm like, hey Jacob, how does this sound?
Dude, man, that's how you got to do it, man. Like those ideas will just hit you like in the middle of a work day, and you're like, fuck, I gotta go sneak out and like. I usually do the sticky note. I'll just try to write something on a sticky note and be like, oh. Again,
I noticed that,
first draft.
I noticed you putting that, you posted a picture of that, the first thing I thought is, man, thank God Solar Nursing fucking understands music. Because honestly, most of us really don't. But I mean, so it's crazy. It's crazy when you come from a scene that's not really like understanding music theory, but because most of these bands don't. But pretty much every band on here slays crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a necessary thing.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
It just probably makes it just a little bit easier in some instances with how you want to create composition and move it along in whatever kind of flow.
It can with voice leading and such, especially we kind of do atmospheric ambient type stuff in our thrash, and so it'll be like, all right, we have these minor seconds clashing. How do we want to resolve? Okay. Just kind of quick things like that, but yeah, it's not necessary. I think probably Parker of Maldivera or Vault Dweller would probably tell you he as great of a guitarist as he is, I'm not sure he knows too much theory, but that dude just kills. And I could be wrong because I think he and Jacob went to an art school for high school, so I could be completely wrong. Yeah. But
God, that and that just little 3-song Maldivera demo was sick.
Man, dude.
Guilty to Proven Innocent. That was kind of if you took the dude from Psycho Stick and just made him a super badass thrash vocalist. That's what Jacob is.
Jacob's a nasty guitarist, a nasty vocalist. That's a band I'm very happy to call friends because man, those guys can play. We have, in my opinion,
we have a really great metal scene in general, but don't get me wrong, our bread and butter and our concrete has always been TXDM, but I really do feel that the thrash scene is probably the most vibrant and just exploding one. that we have, because I didn't talk about it before. I feel like every thrash band in our scene is different in various different ways. Like Chemical brings like some more death metal influence into it. Provide with some just really stupidly sick breakdowns. Electric Vengeance does crossover in a really nice way where like you really can't sometimes tell if it's more punk influence or thrash influence. I mean, the latest album, Homicidal Relapse, literally right over there, it's sick. It's amazing. I love
I'll
it.
check that one out.
I have that yet. Oh my god, it's amazing. My favorite song off that is Beating the Death for Exercise. It talks about Richard Kuklinski.
Is that a serial killer or something? Okay.
The Iceman.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
They actually play like a little voice clip from him from his HBO interview at the beginning. And he's so stoic if you watch it. It's nasty. So what do you think about Murder? I don't. Fuck.
What an asshole.
Fuck, thank God that guy is not about
What an asshole.
but then you get like, but then like, just like, I also include the crossover people, because that's pretty much like our like cousins. So like Beer Break is just super fast, unrelenting, and it just gets to the point they're done. And if I talk to Delton all the time, I love them, and they're like, we don't take ourselves seriously, it's just fun.
It's like Tiny House Adam, right? The one that built his tiny house?
I'm not sure.
What's his last name?
I have to look.
The one with like the dreads, right?
Yeah.
When he did Vital Gore, like 2010 and stuff with Matthew Sandoval and some other people, man, Vital Gore was, man, they had everything and I don't know what happened. Like, that was a band I was stoked. That was like, oh fuck, these guys are going places. Yeah, they would cover like Hella Waits and such, and or at least the intro, like to start their show, and then they would go into kind of their, it was like more crossover thing, but man, it was awesome. And I'm not sure what happened with that project. I think maybe just different interests musically kind of took it different places, but yeah, it's good to know he's getting like back doing a thrash thing, because he's got the ear and the knack for it.
Beer Break blew up in the scene, because the thing is, like, we played a house party with him back last year in July, and I'm like, why have I never seen you guys at like venues before? It's like, we play at Denton sometimes, but we just kind of prefer house parties. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that's great. I love house parties too, because that was our first house party and we loved it. Yeah. And we were like, but dude, let me talk to promoters. We need to get you out. Yeah. And I did. Talked to Joseph Cabrera and Justin and got him out. And man, I don't regret it, because those guys are bringing in people and you can tell they're loving it. But going back to the diversity, like Rapid Face, another crossover.
Oh yeah, so I love Rapid Face.
Oh my god.
Jesse, man, that dude.
Jesse and Mike is a deadly combination. It's a deadly combination. Mike with anybody is a deadly combination, because that dude's bass skills are just nasty.
It's so good, man.
But I mean, then you get like Exploder's probably an example of like the more old school take on it. Yeah. A lot of crazy riffs. And then I kind of throw us in like that weird middle ground where we definitely take influence from that, because all my vocal influences come from that era. Sure. But at the same time, I think the newest song that we put out is also an example of kind of like our take on like the newer stuff, like the more like stompy like stuff that you're hearing now from like the new wave. Yeah. And again, it's just so vibrant. And we have so much to offer, and it just seems like I personally like Fate Bringer. Fate Bringer is very cool. Oh my god. Very cool. Rest in peace.
Wait, the band's done?
I mean, the thing is I saw Dyson post something like a short video, and I'm like, oh dude, y'all are, God, I can't wait to see y'all games like rip. And I'm like, no.
Oh man, I hope not. That band was like very on the up and up. Everyone loved them. Like they had everybody pushing them. They were fantastic people, fantastic band.
Oh, yeah, really good. Like probably like they're like one of the few bands from Wichita Falls. So they were just so like I mean that was a band that could get easy access to any Texas show and then any Oklahoma show. Yeah. Because I mean shit, you can just make that drive. Just buy your own beer in Texas, because Oklahoma beer ain't for shit. That's why they all drink fucking whiskey down there, or up there rather. But as I said, like the main thing that got me into wanting to do this was just our conversations online, because I was just sharing like song links. I'm like, yo, have you ever heard of this band called Aftermath? It's sick as fuck. They're like some random like technical thrash band from the '90s that like were very under the radar, but they came out with some really sick shit. And I believe you commented on that, like, yeah, they're really good. I'm like, yo! I'm like, fuck! Like, okay, I thought I was like the only one in like my own like little world here of like just like unearthing thrash bands. And Ben actually kind of made a comment after the podcast, like, look, if there's a thrash band that's out, there's like an 80% chance Chris knows about them. What the fuck? He's like, yeah, if the thrash band just started right over there in that corner, Chris probably knows one of the guys.
I love Ben. I love him.
Ben is amazing.
He's man, happy to have this journey with him. Man, he really like, cause I get, I'm playing guitar and I'll get stressed out and he'll just do like some mean comment and it's just like, I feel so much better now.
Like,
man, just having you around.
He just like changed his profile picture to Kanye.
Yeah, I saw that.
It fits so well.
Just shit-lording like that just makes me so happy.
It just fits so well. I mean, it was fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, because we were slated because we played the thrash fest that Jason Hans put on.
Yes. And
man, we were really excited that you guys are on the bill too, because Jake was like fuck. I'm like, I know. And then and unfortunately you guys weren't able to make it. What happened?
I think we had a miscommunication on our end. I think the show was accepted without all of us being able to be like, yeah, let's do it. Because our big thing right now since Lich King is we have got to have material from our upcoming album. Like 2-3 pieces minimum to be able to present and perform live. So we're not just playing Stalagmite and Hypothermia. And we weren't ready at the time with that amount of pieces. So we unfortunately had to cancel, and I think it was just a miscommunication on our end from one of us saying, sure, we'll do it without confabbing with the rest of us being like, are we good to do this? And I mean, because it was such a, I think some of the bands were already confirmed, and Hans must have mentioned it, and so we saw the bands be like, oh yeah, like this looks fantastic, and then unfortunately, got a little too excited and.
Well, I mean, I believe Protest was also on the bill, and they're pretty good too. If you like the more hardcore take on thrash, because they definitely put in like a hate breed influence. I feel like in their style, and unfortunately they weren't able to come out. But Silver Tongue answered the call, because Silver Tongue always is able to answer the call. Those guys are just super hardworking and just never stop working. And then fucking Combat. I'm like, oh my god.
Combat, they're cool.
God, those are some of the nicest people ever.
That's a cool band, man. Combat's very cool.
They introduced me to, I had them on the podcast recently-ish, and they all introduced me to Crazy Cowboy, which is pretty much like beer made from like the Arizona company, so it comes in the fucking huge ass can. It's like 99 cents, and they all came in and was like, really, here's a Crazy Cowboy, get it, brother. I'm like, holy shit.
Crazy Cowboy.
I got them all drunk, and then they saw all my Dungeons and Dragons shit over there. It's like, dude, we need to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Like, holy shit, I'm gonna put you guys on a fucking ride. And we actually tried to record it. So I just had some fun stuff to post there, and unfortunately I just could not get it posted, because like I like half the footage got cut, and like for some reason like some of their voices went out, and I was like, shit, man. It was fun because I killed them all because they're being assholes. But
Dungeon Master, man.
Yeah, it's just like I sent them in to a town, because the town was wanting to find some adventurers for hire, because Kobolds had raided their copper mine. Okay. So I'm like, cool. Yeah, you guys just go and talk to the bartender, and she'll tell you everything you need to do, and she'll give you some equipment. And the first thing fucking Ray does is like, I'm gonna steal a bottle of ale, and I'm like. Roll sleight of hand, and he rolls a 3, and I'm like, you got fucking caught. It's like they got kicked out, and it's like, what the fuck do we do now? And then like the guard's like, what the fuck's going on? And then like eventually they accepted the mission, and they took care of the kobolds, or so they thought, And then it turns out that one of the guards that was stationed there was in cahoots with the kobolds. So he was one who went down there with them to show them around, and then he turned on them. So they all thought the entire town was against them now. And so they all ran out, and they run to that the bard like, "Hey, bitch, what the fuck's wrong with you? Trying to fucking kill us!" And then they just started attacking, and I'm like, you know what? And the mayor was, and then so she called the mayor, and the mayor's a fucking ogre. And so he's like, "What the fuck?" And then they start fighting him. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna roll something stupid here. I roll like a D100, and it landed on 100. And I'm like, okay, cool. So a red dragon's gonna come down now, and we're gonna make this shit toasty. And that's pretty much the end of it. Because the only way it ends with one character and a dragon is death. No other way doing it around. But to hop back, I wanted to get like I guess your influences that brought you into this world, because I talked to Ben and Juan about theirs, and I'm like, shit, you're like the treasure trove of thrash. Like, I thought I was educated on the subject.
No, you're very knowledgeable. You're very knowledgeable. Don't doubt that.
I think you kicked my candle down though. But yeah, I just want to hear what your main influences are.
For thrash, what really got me into it was Testament. Testament's still my favorite band.
Yes.
I miss them with Slayer because I'm not gonna go pay to see Anthrax. I'm not gonna give that band money. But
I agree.
Testament, Exodus, Forbidden, a lot of that Bay Area stuff, Violence, really got me into it. Heathen, and from there, kind of the thrash that kind of pushes the speed and intensity, like Protector, Invocator, Dark Angel, Vengeance Rising.
Invocator's so good.
Excursion Demise is one of the best albums I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. Kind of like that Bay Area style, and then that kind of darker, extreme style is really what I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, Pat Metheny, John McLaughlin, David Wise, Brian Eno, Miles Davis, Joe Locke, a lot of jazz musicians too, specifically guitarists, Paco de Lucia too, and Al Di Meola. Those are the guys that kind of helped shape kind of the weirder structures that we sometimes have, because just good melodic color to add to the music.
Yeah, the great thing about because we all know the big four are, but then there's a lot of talk about who the other four are, because there's always that talk about the other four, and you always either get. I've always seen I've always seen Exodus and Testament on there, and then people will bounce around between Overkill, Creator, Sodom. All those bands, it's fuck, we just can't pick one. But the thing I like from all of those bands in that after era is that they've been putting out, because Big Four really hasn't put anything super stellar out recently, in my opinion. I thought Megadeth's Endgame was really good, but
I don't think I heard that one.
There's a couple songs where they're just super high intense riffage, which that's kind of what I want from Dave.
Shouldn't be that hard, but the way I look at it, not to interrupt, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, go on.
I liked Christ Illusion by Slayer a lot. That one was real good.
That was good.
But for the other ones, the way I look at it and why I get so pissy and pushy about the old wave is sans Slayer. I like Slayer still. It's just they're part of the Big Four, so they have to take it too. But they haven't released an album that I think is worthwhile since I've been alive. I'm 27. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 27 years of relying on what you did in the 80s.
Yeah.
Move aside.
Yeah.
Let us take it. Let the new Big Four of us, Lich King, Condition Critical, and Smash be the Big Four. Self-proclaimed, but it's true. Let us be the Big Four.
Yeah.
You guys have had your time. Piss off. You're not putting in any effort. You're not putting out anything worthwhile. Slayer understands. They're like, we're retiring. Yeah. Is it going to be forever? No. There will probably be one-off festive appearance or something if the cheese is right.
Yeah.
But I do think Megadeth and such and Metallica, I know it's their bread and butter, but I think they'll always be making money from this. But if like you're gonna play, I saw Megadeth set list, and they played Dystopia and everything else from the 80s.
Yeah.
If that's what you're doing, if you're realizing what you're doing just isn't up to par, let us have a chance.
Yeah.
You guys are almost 60. Like we're young. You and I, we're young. We're hungry. I'm clearly hungry. We're ready to take our music to the next level, to be able to present it to a wider audience like you guys got to. And, it is just frustrating that, you see low effort get rewarded by bands like Megadeth. And again, I haven't heard Endgame. It could be fantastic, but I'm just saying, like, off of United Abominations or The System Has Failed.
Yeah.
Something since I've been born.
I wasn't really sold on those albums myself.
Yes.
And like the newest album had some good ideas I kind of like, because I do kind of like some more melodic things too. But
Put this in perspective though. This decade, Megadeth released Super Collider.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That was insane.
This decade, or maybe late last decade, Metallica released Lulu. You know what I mean? Just these low effort quality things that like they're getting opportunities from. And if that's what you're putting out, goodbye. Anthrax put out worship music, and everyone knows my feelings on that. Yeah. I didn't even listen to the new one. I can tell you, it's a 0% low record. I hate it. That band is just full of jerks.
Why couldn't Scott Ian just stay in SOD and SOD just stay? I don't know.
Yeah, dude,
we covered that song for a reason.
Dude, man, Scott Ian is just that. From things I've heard from Billy Milano, and I know that's probably, it's not my place to say because I don't know him personally, but just saying the things like Scott Ian does, and the way he's shaped that band to sound like Five Finger Death Punch and stuff, that's essentially the vibe I get.
Yeah.
It seems like he's just really wanting that paycheck.
It's hard to face reality on these things because if you listen back to stuff like Among the Living and Spreading the Disease,
sure.
And
those albums still sucked.
For their time. I kind of like them. I'll admit, I like them. I like, especially Medusa, that song on Spreading Disease is probably I like that song a lot personally. But going back to the other four, because, or whatever, that era of bands that were kind of under the big four in popular terms, those guys put out stellar stuff recently. Like Brotherhood of the Snake, oh my god, please more. I really liked Brotherhood of the Snake.
I liked it. I felt like it was a little bit of a step down from Dark Roots of the Earth, but I did read that they kind of rushed it. And for a rushed record like Brotherhood of the Snake, I think is a viable addition to Testament's discography.
Oh yeah.
But I hope for the next one they take more time, because if they can get that Dark Roots of the Earth thing again, that was a good record.
For the glory of. Oh my god.
Dude, Formation and Dark Roots were awesome. Yeah,
and then Overkill's my favorite band.
No,
just completely unapologetically. I loved The Electric Age. I loved White Devil Armory. I thought that was a step up, and especially in terms of Dee Dee Verney's bass playing. It just seems like, because Overkill, if you look at their discography, there's definitely some albums that you can just kind of shut off to the side. But the thing that really kind of got me into them the most, what I feel like is their best feature, is that's just a band that just never stops.
Yeah, I give Overkill that. I'm not the biggest Overkill fan. I think I kind of like it a little darker than what Overkill usually provides. But I will give Overkill this, that they have never stopped. It's like Testament. There was never a period where they broke up.
Yeah.
And I respect that for when either they pushed their fans away, their fans just lost interest, which are they fans at all in that case in the 90s, or labels want them to do something different. They still put out stuff that they wanted to put out, or at least tried.
Exactly. But then you get bands like Death Angel, who took that really long hiatus because of just a bunch of series of just stupidly unfortunate events.
Sure.
That made them have to take off that thing. Because, God, the Ultraviolence is probably one of the most intense albums of this year.
I love the Ultraviolence. When people kind of ask me, if I could describe thrash in one song, the one song I typically show them is Guilty of Innocence from Frolic Through the Park.
Oh yeah.
Because that kind of defines Bay Area thrashing, like the riffing at that part of the neck. It's got the solos, it's got the falsettos, it's got the mid tempo, it's got the thrash beat, it's got everything. So it's just like if there's one song when people ask, what is thrash? That's actually one that I like to show.
Oh yeah, but I mean they came back in 2004 after that long hiatus.
Art of Dying is a really good record.
Oh yeah, it's really sick.
Good.
Like Thrown to the Wolves.
Yeah.
That song is just super picky, super intense. And then even Relentless Retribution, I think that came out like 2010, 2011.
Yeah, I like
Relentless
Retribution.
River of Rapture is probably one of the most intense songs of that year.
I love that.
Oh my god! And then you had bands like that were popping up around that time frame, like Lazarus AD. Like that was a band that put out 2 solid, killer, sick albums, and then just a bunch of unfortunate events and nothing. They've effectively broken up at this point, which is so unfortunate.
I think when we were on Thrash Unlimited, and Thrash Unlimited was really hot. It was like us and Lich King and Merciless Death and Fueled by Fire, and all of us had our own forums, and Lazarus AD was one of them, and they were active on there, and they were kind of like one of the bigger ones we could all look up to. And they would still come home, to Thrash Unlimited and talk to us, and they were always incredibly nice, incredibly polite, and good musicians, man. It's unfortunate when things just don't work out and gotta say goodbye.
Yeah. And I mean, we have a really intense new wave that's pushing all the boundaries. I mean, like we already went into Lich King and Lazarus AD, but then you have bands like Municipal Waste that sell the bill of a really good party vibe, kind of like a new take, like a new evolution of maybe the song like DRI was doing.
Yeah.
Which, holy shit! Don't forget, Scorcher's coming up for DRI in November. Hit me up for tickets because holy shit, I'm excited.
Congratulations,
oh my
man!
God.
Congratulations.
Kurt's one of my favorite. Like Kurt's one of my main vocal inspirations.
That's sick, man.
So I can't wait for it. But then you have bands like Toxic Holocaust that have kind of come out of the woodwork, punching shit out. Havoc has been doing a lot of that.
I remember them too, Thrash Unlimited, when like Burn came out, they were still just on their way. And then when Time Is Up came out, they took off, and it was crazy to see that rise. I remember the Burn on MySpace and just listening to that and being like, man.
MySpace was a crazy good platform for up and coming bands.
If it wasn't for MySpace, man, I don't know what I'd be doing with my life, to be quite honest. Like, I remember how I got into this was like I wanted to start a thrash band, and no one I'm going to school with they're all in like Trivium, As I Lay Dying, The Agony Scene, bands like that, and I didn't dig the tone of the records. I didn't dig the singing choruses. I didn't dig any of that, and I was into Testament. And I got a Revolver magazine for some reason. I don't know why, but I was at 7-Eleven and it was just like, get this magazine. Why not? See what it's all about. Because Blabbermouth was around at the time. Who the hell needed a magazine even in 2007? But I picked it up, and they had 2 sentences on new bands, and one of them was Merciless Death.
Holy shit.
And it said, 3 kids possessed with a capital P. So I was like, alright, I love Possessed. Went on MySpace, I heard Exhumer. My life changed. My life changed when I heard that song. And I scrolled down, and the next one was Fueled by Fire. And I heard Spread the Fire and Command of the Beast, and I scrolled down to their top 8, and Violator was there with Chemical Assault. And from there it was, and then Hatchet had Awaiting Evil stuff, their demos. And Ex Mortis had demos. Those guys are coming Monday.
They're super shreddy.
Check that out.
Super shreddy.
But man, MySpace and going through that changed my life, because I was like, I'm not alone, and other people, those guys were a bit older than me, only by a few years. But now I had someone to look up to in our generation. Yeah. And that kind of helped kick my ass into gear that okay, I want to be where these guys are, because they would show pictures from Thrasher de Mayo, and just everyone circle pitting and just all the hair headbanging back and forth, and it was just like, man, that's the goal. now, is to get to LA and play thrash show. And unfortunately, I think that goal, they stopped doing them, so that goal is kind of dead. But, you know, that's still the goal, is to play bigger stages, play the Tokyo Dome one day and sell that guy out. You know?
Yeah, of course. And
50,000
honestly, if you're not shooting for the stars, if that's not your distant long-term goal, then there's a viable question of then why are you doing this? I mean, like, I can never think of a logical reason why. I just want to play for the same 50 people I always play for. I don't want to do that.
That's one reason. And I mean no disrespect, but why I don't consider us a Dallas band. Like, we live in Dallas, but you know, we are a internet, and we want to be a worldwide band. Is because our goals aren't just At one point, the goal was, all right, let's headline Reno's, and when we did that, it's like, all right, so what's the goal now? You know, okay, let's headline Wits End twice in a row. You know, we do that. Okay, so now what can we do? All right, let's go on tour and be a headlining act. We did it with Terrorists, and then, okay, what can we do now? Let's be a support band for an even bigger band. We got it with Lich King and Condition Critical and such. Like, the goal's got to keep rising, and we can't do that just staying here.
Exactly.
You know, you have to. Now the goals are, all right, let's try to play Full Terror Assault or Maryland Death Fest, or you know, and you know, let's go to Japan and play Japan, or you know, Russia or Britain, like, and that's the goals. Why I don't. Honestly, who I think of and who's doing it right is a Dallas band that's Power Trip. You know, they had the big vision, and they had the right audience at the right place at the right time, and boom, they keep going. And you know, WWE wants to use their song, sure, use this song. You know, I mean, the Dallas Stars want to play their song at a halftime or something, go ahead and play it. Like, that's brilliant. And those are the goals that, if we want to make Dallas a more prominent level scene, that's what we need to do. Is we need to get on Power Trip's level and push ourselves to that level and have those goals and put the effort into those goals to get there. I know we all have bills to pay and such, but man, we live one time. To me, there's nothing after this.
Yeah.
So if that means, if my boss is going to get mad at me for going to Japan for a week, I guess he's going to get pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, man?
And you know, it's kind of like why we are trying to, you know, set up, because I feel the same way. I feel like there's steps that you need to take, and so, you know, we as a band who hasn't put out a full-length album yet, that's the goal right now.
Yes.
Put out that full-length album, do a CD release show here.
Yes.
And then take that, go on tour.
Yes.
Like, we can have, I don't know, but hit surrounding states.
Yeah.
Play them out, and that could be the tour of the debut album.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. And hopefully we can get something rolling next year.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're not shooting for that, if you're not shooting for something beyond playing for your friends, and don't get me wrong, I love everyone in this.
Yeah, and that's why
amazing people.
That's why I feel like an asshole when I talk like this. I'm not trying to put down anyone here that's been good to us, or any friends that we have, or anything like that. Please don't take offense. The thing is, I want to have opportunities where we can tour and hopefully have it be funded one day by a label or something, so we can take Skull Archer with us, and we can help put Skull Archer on a national map. Not that you guys aren't, and you're not capable of that on your own, but anything we can do to help, we want to. And same with like Vault Dweller,
that's what it's about.
Or Steel Bearing Hand, or Silver Tongue Devil.
But that's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about helping. It's about community. It's about unity.
And it's not a shot at yours or anyone else's effort. Vault Dweller got on Maryland Death Fest all on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could use their help. Not that they have to, but it's just like any opportunity we can get to help someone. Like one band I really want to take out too is Terror Collective from Denton, who's more of just like a prog rock band, but like they're so good. I want the world to hear this.
Yeah.
And to bring these audiences together to maybe find sounds that they normally wouldn't seek out themselves, to grow each other's respective audiences. I'm all for helping each other. It's just we have to take what we have here in Dallas and go elsewhere with it, and hopefully be able to bring each other, should it be up to us.
And I mean, I thought it's fairly obvious. I mean, it's not like you're saying, oh, we don't ever want to play shows.
No,
because that would be fairly true, because you were booked on Thrash Fest. So, I mean, there was a thing that was there, set in motion, ready to go. You know, and so. I mean, I completely get where you're coming from.
Sure.
Because I aspire to the same thing. I want to be able to, I want Skull Archer to be at its very best at all times.
Sure.
I feel like with the lineup that we have now, with the chemistry that we have now, and the drummer that we're trying out now, I feel like we're definitely getting to the point where we need to get to. I feel like all the shows we played this year have continuously been our best shows. Our return at Reno's was our best show when we did that. I mean, our return in general, because that was like a 6-month hiatus. But then we had the house party that we played here because we had a feeling for Fatebringer.
Yes.
You know, like I feel like that was our best performance. And then we played Thrash Fest. I thought that was our best performance. And then we played the Suicide Awareness show at Woodson.
Yeah.
And holy shit, I still dream about that show. I still dream about me on stage on that show. That was the most fun I've ever had on stage.
Nice.
We had a really good reception. We played a late slot. I felt like we've earned that late slot.
Yeah.
And you know, so it's just like, and like I want to keep having that feeling. I want to, and if I can, I want to have a better feeling than the last show.
Yes.
And so if you're not continuously trying to do better for yourself or your band or your brand or whatever,
yeah,
what are you doing? Like, DFW Metal Mayhem is also another thing that I try to aspire to be better with. I mean, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. We are definitely not the highest production. We are not.
Sure,
that shit goes at 360. Like, okay, like, I mean, you know, it's definitely not high quality. But I'm gonna buy a better camera. I have more sound that you can put out. I just need to fix the electric in here so that I could turn on the light, cover the window so I don't have to rely on that as a light source, and then stick up the rest of the soundproofing. Probably get a microphone, then we're gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna get somewhere. So
that's baby steps, man. You're putting in the perfect effort. You know, you have the goals and you're putting in an effort to build to that goal. So when you get there, you know, you have like essentially, you know, 51 episodes, including this one, of like a demo reel of like, this is that, you know, this is your personality that you present. These are the kind of questions you talk about. It's very free form, which is nice. And once the production is kicked up, boom, man, you got it. You got a pro, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can monetize that.
Exactly. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. I really, you know, DFW Metal Mayhem is going to be a thing that's more of a multi-branch thing. Like, as I said before in the last episode, which was the special for 50 episodes, it was just ironic, unfortunately, that was also a remembrance for
Vinny,
which was very unfortunate. But, I mean, in that video, I also said, you know, I want to start doing promotional work. Like, I want to get bands that I feel like can do a great job, that do well, that always come to play, and I want to put shit together.
Yeah.
I want to help people out. I feel like if I'm going to build myself up, you know, I feel like I also have the scene in general to thank for helping me out, like to push myself initially. So if anything I can do to help them out, I will.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, as I said, we're all in this together, and I feel like one day if Scorcher gets, you know, when Scorcher gets big enough, we can, you know, take another band out from our scene here.
Yes.
Let's go do a week show. Like, fuck, like I love electric bands like brothers, like Brandon and Shrey and Paul, like some of my best friends ever. Like, all the guys in Explode are like some of my best friends ever. Yeah. You know? Fuck, let's go on a tour for like a week and a half. Let's just go and fuck shit up and show everyone what Texas is about.
Yeah.
Let's go to fucking Louisiana and just show them why our barbecue's better than their barbecue or what the fuck ever. Like, especially in New York. If we go to New York, I'm gonna fucking talk garbage on your barbecue. I've seen pictures. Fuck y'all. It's horrible. How dare you? We don't. But okay, I get it.
I like New York.
I do too. I love New York. They do pizza great. They usually stay out of the barbecuing. Leave it to us. I wish we could stay out of the pizza. I agree we need to stay out of the pizza if it makes you feel better. For the most part. There's some places that are okay.
I remember we were on tour it was a terrorist tour, you know, 2011 for Stalagmite of Ice. And our pal Chris, who was in a band called Zamboni, and they had to change their name to Nuclear Hatred, and unfortunately are no more. He took us to this Brooklyn place, and it was more like bread with sauce on it, from what I remember. And it wasn't bad, it was just like, this is what everyone kind of talks about? Like, like, this is the Brooklyn pizza? Like, when we go to Angelo and Vito's and get Brooklyn pizza, it's like this thin, paper thin, and we love it. We devour like 8 pieces. But yeah, going there and actually experiencing it, it was like, maybe this is just a weird one-off place, but I don't get the hype.
Yeah.
I love New York, though, with all my heart.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely a great place to play.
I love it.
If you ever get the opportunity, I feel like New York, Cali, are like the 2 big places to play.
Cali's cool.
Yeah, but man, I see Google images of traffic. I'm like, I hope there's not. I hope I never have to go through that to get to a show.
When we toured with Condition Critical in 2013, when they were doing their operational hazard tour, and we hit LA, like I just remember being very happy that we were in a tour bus and I wasn't driving because that was a nightmare in times. Just very happy.
2 hours later.
Just ridiculous, man. I was very happy. You know, I was annoyed that that we weren't moving anywhere, and that's always stressful because you don't want to miss a show or be late. But very happy that Sean was dealing with it, eating corn dogs and smoking cigarettes. Just
fuck this fucking traffic.
Hey, give me another corn dog.
And I mean, one thing that also needs to be considered, because we talk of this stuff, but it's not simple. Because there's so many factors that go into going out of town.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a band, cool, rent one up. Oh shit, tire fucking popped.
Yeah.
Oh shit, tire popped again. It's what happened to Asylum when they were trying to get to Shreveport. I had 2 tires bust on them.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and so like your shit breakdown, or like Vor. When Vor was doing a tour recently with Center of Disease and with Center of Disease and like another band, I can't quite remember the name, but they were doing a tour together. First night, they had a truck that was one little truck that had with all their equipment, and that shit spun out to the median, almost fucking killed them. I mean, it's not simple. Some shit's gonna happen, you know. So if you're gonna do it, you gotta make sure that you're like. I'm an advocate for when it comes to band fund. The band fund needs to be a self-sufficient machine.
Mm-hmm.
I never take a payday doing what I do.
Yeah, no, we never do. We're getting some T-shirts made today actually, and
Dragon Club was sick. I'm just saying that was a sick shirt. Yes, I'm getting that.
And we're getting those made today, and we had a lock box where I had the lock broken, or no, it wasn't broken. I lost the key. It must have fallen out of my pocket many moons ago. But Ben's a locksmith, so he popped that bad boy up, and I had the extra money that we made from shows and some merch sales in my guitar case and put that together, and that funded all of these T-shirts.
Yep.
And I agree. I would rather not take anything out of the band fund. I'd rather put my own money in, to make sure we're okay.
I have before. I've definitely donated to the band fund.
Yeah, I think it's a necessary thing. If all members donate something, you're gonna have a big pool. Even dude, think $20 a paycheck. You got 4 members, 5 members. That's $100 per paycheck if everyone did it on a pay period. By the end of the month, you have 200 in there.
Yeah.
By you multiply it by 3, you got $600. Boom, you're ready to go. And for touring, things unfortunately happen, and having that mentality where we've kind of donated and not taken out and such. If we're on tour and one of them's like, I need a beer, they take something out of the band fund. Go ahead, we earn that money. But there was a time where I think promoters screwed us on the Condition Critical tour, and we needed gas, and luckily because we have the band fund we don't dig into, we were able to pay for the gas that we didn't get our guarantee, so we were able to finish the tour and get home and such. And I do feel like it is just a necessary thing to have a band fund that's pretty how can I say full, to make sure when things happen on tour you do have something to fall back on that's not going to break anyone's bank too much. And I mean, unfortunately things happen where it's tour's canceled. If your motor blows up or something, or something horrific happens, there's understandable things, but like for a tire, you want funds to cover that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not going to break an individual member's bank to get there.
Exactly.
I always think it's good to tour. Whatever you think you need, if you need 5,000 on tour, go with 7,500. You know,
exactly.
plan ahead, man.
Yeah, just in case. I mean, and I mean, you're laying out like a lot of really good helpful advice. I can definitely help a lot of people out because a lot of people do think it's cut and dry.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, there's so many variables. Like, I mean, do you really want to buy a motel, or do you think you can just get away with parking your vehicle in some upstrut fucking parking lot, just fucking taking it out there and hope to God a cop doesn't roll up?
Yeah.
What are you doing? You know, so
like, and just knowing that, like, we've done both. Where you gotta watch. If you have a main, you gotta make sure it's clean, and you're touring with 7 other sweaty men. Like, at some point you gotta clean, but like, yeah, if you're gonna sleep, like, go to Walmart where it's well lit, kind of, and where people aren't going to hopefully break into your stuff. If you go to a motel, make sure it's not grimy so your stuff doesn't get broken into. That's obviously a very important aspect, but don't break the bank for a 5-star hotel for a night.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. Like, I mean,
and you gotta be careful with motels. I'm a pest control tech. I spray a shit ton of motels.
Yeah.
I'm telling you fucking what, buddy. That shit is fucking nasty.
Read some reviews like before you book one. Like, you go to McDonald's, use their Wi-Fi, and read some reviews. Like, I mean, touring, there's a lot of downtime. There is a lot. You're driving, and it's not the most glamorous thing in the world. The glamour is performing for a new audience, expressing musically what you want to a new audience, and then after that, meeting people and growing your connections. But then you hop back into a van, and you're like, well, I got 23 hours to do nothing. My Switch needs to charge, so.
Exactly, so it's always, and I mean, like, I always hear rule number 1 is baby wipes. I always hear baby wipes. Just do it.
That's a very good rule, man.
Don't question it.
Always have extra baby wipes and or toilet paper, because you don't want to be too wet back there to cause some nastiness. So yeah, man, like there really is like just a lot of planning ahead that before people go on tour that I think sometimes people don't realize when they get on the road. It's like, fuck, I wasn't expecting this. But it's not as hard to do once you kind of just take the time to like think things through. If you get it. One thing I would suggest, and I see Lich King do this, is like, man, try to get everything in writing, because if you don't want to get burned by a promoter, make sure they put it in writing that they're going to give you this amount, and you'll have it in writing like, hey, dude, like, I know you're trying to skimp out on this show, but you put it in writing.
Or shit. I mean, and if you can't do that, screen cap the entire conversation.
Yeah, I mean, make sure that things are in writing. Handshake. I know in the metal community, we try to be like, how can I say this? I don't want to say like degenerate, but like we do a lot of things on like handshake deals. Like, yeah, we'll pay you that much, no problem, or I'll do this for you. And then, handshake deals in 2018 they can be kind of loose. But luckily, if you get someone to sign something, or have some sort of written word that this was going to happen, it's going to just help you out. And no one should feel like an asshole saying, can you sign this? And no one should feel like an asshole signing it. It's just business.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And I think, if bands do things like that, they put themselves in a better position for safety.
Yeah.
You go on tour, the end goal is to get home.
Yeah. And thing is if a promoter has a problem with that, then that's probably a promoter you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
At all.
And if you think you're worth like, $200 and the promoter's like, I'll give you 25, it's like, okay, we'll find a different one. Like,
yeah.
If we're coming from Dallas to, I don't know, we'll say Boise, Idaho, for $25, it's like, I think we'll just stay in Dallas for the time being.
Because all the promoters in Dallas pay us 6 times that amount. Easy.
Man, I will say this, the promoter I've worked with the most is Hans, and Hans, man, I can't thank him enough for the generosity, the hospitality. In Dallas, I've learned Southern hospitality really doesn't exist, but then there's people like Hans that man, what a guy to make you feel like a competent, serious musician who pays you fairly.
He's seen everything.
Everything. He is what a guy, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hans, for everything. I don't say it enough.
He treated us very well when we did the thrash fest. Very well.
Very fair. Very. Just what I like about Hans is he's part of no disrespect to him. He's part of an older generation that like seeing us young bucks do well.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the baby boomer and older generation have a hard time with us millennials coming up and taking their spot. But that's a guy that he sees the effort and the passion and the energy and intensity we provide into our music and how much we love it, and he wants to see us do well and push us to these levels that we were talking about getting to. He wants to help be a stepping stone to get us there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's awesome to see, Judas Goat just played, I think Houston with Sabat from Japan.
Yeah.
And that, good on him too. That's a well-earned, well-deserved slot.
Colby on drums for that band is
that's cool. That's very cool.
God,
Colby can play. Man.
Colby's a hard fucking worker.
He is, man. I think he spread himself too thin sometimes. Because didn't he recently have to be like, hey, I can't take any more bands?
Yeah.
Type thing. But he's such a good worker and such a good drummer.
Yeah.
I can see why people go to him and say, hey, I'd like you for my project.
Yeah, he's like, Balls Life, go away right now. I actually had him on my Dungeons and Dragons Monday nights, and his first time playing. It's a lot of fun. It's him, my little brother Henry, who was the former bassist of Steinach's, current bassist of his black metal band Blasphemous Goat Vomit.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
God, oh man, I love a black metal band that shits on black metal.
Did they get their name from one of those is this your birth month, birthday, birth year, and then that would be your band name?
No. Okay. So what happened is Henry went to I believe an all Christian or all Catholic school. I don't remember which one. And I think he was at a pool party or something. And there's this kid that's always kind of messed, not bullied, but kind of made little white lies, having him believe some shit because he's really gullible. He's like, yeah man, started this black metal band called Blasphemous Goat Vomit. And he showed him a satanic symbol they just drew on his hand for fun or some shit like that. The kid wigged the fuck out, and then eventually it became a fucking idea.
That's how you do it.
And a concept. And I mean,
it's brilliant.
Look, I love the Lich King song "Black Metal Sucks," but black metal is pretty good.
We'll agree to disagree.
Okay, fair
enough. Love you,
enough.
Robert and Ben.
Fair enough. I'm very selective with mine.
Yeah, sure.
I prefer the faster paced stuff.
Yeah, no, I love Rob and Ben. I'm so happy with what they can do in the Antichrist, but I like having them home too in thrash.
Exactly.
They don't have to put a makeup on for 4 hours before a show.
But that is probably one of their Lich King's best songs. We don't know, they're so Waypool! Who the fuck throws if you can throw Waypool into your song, you're a genius. God damn it.
I remember when Tom was writing that. Like I said, I met him right as he was writing TZO. And Black Metal Sucks, I think, was the last song. And he posted that to Thrash Unlimited, and it took off there. People either loved it or hated it.
Yeah.
And he was just like, man, I put this together. It's 2 riffs. I put it together in 3 minutes. And man, what one song, what one meme can do for a band to get haters and lovers. And if people are hating you, you're doing something right.
Their latest album, the Omniclasm, am I saying it right?
Omniclasm?
Yeah, great album.
Dude, when I first heard it, because I loved it, and Tom had showed me stuff before, but the first few songs, they had all the these hammer-on pull-off riffs,
yeah.
And it got to piece 4, and I was like, wait, this wasn't all one song, because so many of those riffs are just your fingers are going the whole time. So awesome on them, great album,
yeah.
Very fun, good messages in some of the pieces, and great storytelling in the others. The Omniclasm is one of those albums that was worth the wait, and I'm happy that we got to experience it.
I really like bands that can tell a story in their songs. That's kind of like the idea of Skull Archer.
Yes.
Is that there is a story. Exile by Arrows is about essentially the person who was murdered for a crime that he did not commit, who's executed for a crime he didn't commit, that song is actually the origin of Skull Archer itself as an entity. And then, the song Skull Archer itself that talks about what he does. Ambush is like bounty hunters trying to get at him and shit. So
very nice. Very conceptual.
Yeah, and like I'm a history buff. So like I have a lot of ideas I want to pull from Egyptian history, ancient Japan history, medieval times, like Black Age era, Celtic era.
Sure.
Like, I have a lot of just ideas I just want to pull shit from because archery goes like way back, like 5,000 BC.
Yes.
And so I feel like I have a lot of stuff to pull from. And I mean, I'm obviously not just going to stick to that stuff, but like I have so many ideas I just want to throw in and just mix up and unleash upon people.
Nice.
And like, it's great to have that. It's great to have so many ideas that you're able to write them all down and plan stuff out accordingly. Because I literally have a plan of how I want to release this music.
Very nice.
And so
that's the kind of planning that I think is necessary to make a big impact.
Yeah.
Some things can be a fluke, like black metal sucks and it takes off. But I think what's best is when something's, or what's more consistent maybe, is when something's planned like that, and there's a logical way to tell the story, to present the music and such. And I think that's a great way of doing it, is to have it written down so you know what the goal is.
Yeah, it's always, and I also come at it from another angle because I've been in martial arts most of my life, and how I paid for college was doing amateur MMA fights and kickboxing fights.
Nice.
And so I've always viewed like that as like a chess game. Like I'm fighting this guy and he has this skill set. He's a really good jiu-jitsu guy, kind of shaky striking. I'm clearly the better striker. But he's really good at closing off the cage, so I need to make sure that I'm not up against the cage, I control the action, I control in the middle. Or if I'm fighting a really aggressive wrestler, it's the same exact thing, but I probably need to have a lower base and probably avoid a lot of higher kicks maybe until the later rounds.
Sure.
Or like if I'm fighting a striker, then I'm like, okay, I need to be on my toes, I need to make sure that I'm moving away from his power, and I'm moving into vulnerabilities that I can get at. When I'm writing music, like lyrics for a song that pop in my head, or if I'm doing riffs or I'm trying to plan something out, I always try to be like, okay, what's the best execution from this part going in here?
Yes.
What is the best vocal style to put in right here?
Yes.
Should I go along with the drum line, or should I hit that riff and try to match it to the floor drum?
Yeah.
Always trying to find like what's the best way possible. The newest song that we put out, the one that we just kind of jammed out in the garage that we put up a couple days ago, that song was that. We literally took 2 months writing it because we were like, what's the best thing after this? What can we do? That's why that song has a bunch of different riffs. It takes out a bunch of different angles. I'm like, I want to catch people off guard. We have all this stompy shit, and then Reed's gonna do this crazy bass solo that comes out of like a fucking old school Merciful Fate album, And then you have, Jacob is a riff writing machine. Sure,
he's awesome. He's awesome.
I mean, all the shit that he's done with Exploder kind of speaks for it himself.
Yes.
Ever since he was like 16, So getting all these elements and putting it together, that's what makes it. And it's awesome to hear from a fan perspective and people who just go to shows. The feeling is exemplified when you're the crafter, when you are creating it, and you put it out and you're proud of it and you're like, yes. But you cannot be proud and complacent. You have to be proud and ambiguous to move up.
I've always said, once you think you made it, like if you think you've made it, you're done. You're done. You can't get complacent. Exactly. You can't think you made it. Like you can be happy to get to a spot, but you can't be like, this is as good as it's gonna get. Because if you think that, that's it.
Yeah, fuck it. If you're a band that has toured the world, played at all the big venues, played all the big venues, sold out all the stadiums, be the first band that wants to play on the goddamn moon.
Yeah, seriously. Be like, I want to do it again. I want to sell out again.
Yeah.
And, be like, seriously, I'm going to play on Mars. There's life there. There's water. We're gonna dig deep, find the water so I can get a drink between songs. We're gonna play on Mars.
Or fuck it, be a band that plays at places that no bands go to.
Yeah.
Bring people. Iron Maiden did that and they did it well.
Yeah.
And they, like, a lot of people who don't get a lot of music festivals or shows that are really big Iron Maiden fans literally were in tears.
Yeah.
They're like, this is amazing. I've never had this experience in my life. It moves people. The shit we do has potential to move millions of people.
Music's a foreign language. I mean, everyone connects with it, even if they don't know your native speaking language. Music's a foreign language that everyone knows how to feel.
Exactly.
You know?
And I've never heard a person who's like, you know what I really fucking hate? Music.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
I've heard some shitlords in like high school say that, but you know, they're just, you know, at some point in their life, they're gonna turn on the radio and be like, this is a good Katy Perry song. You know, like, they're gonna connect with it. You know, I like this One Direction one. It's great. You know?
Yeah, and whatever they listen to.
Yeah.
Like, eventually they're gonna find something.
One Direction's great. Like, Katy Perry's great. They're great musicians.
I'm a big Lady Gaga fan.
I like Gaga.
I don't even give a fuck what anyone says. Lady Gaga's my shit. Yeah.
Art pop was really good. I really liked art pop.
Yeah, I'm also like a really big fan of like Alan Jackson. I'm a big old school country.
Yeah.
Like Chuck Berry's my favorite musician ever.
Very nice.
That's my go-to guy.
Very nice.
When I want jams, I'm a very big blues fan, jazz fan, though I probably honestly couldn't name individual artists and musicians as well as I could with like classic rock or country.
Sure.
But like, I mean, a B.B. King, God, B.B. King.
Yeah, what a player, man.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Or you know, just all these, like, I mean, there's so much of a pull in every direction. Like, I feel like as musicians, we need to take influence and stock from more than just our community.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, I love the main influences I have in my vocal style, but when it comes to frontmanning and moving on stage, I'm looking at bands like Ragtime frontmen back in the colonial times that were just moving on stage and jigging around, and they themselves were the show while singing.
Yeah.
Or Michael Jackson's a really good example.
Yes.
Someone who moves really well and that captured people. You know, Bruno Mars does it every now and then, and that's great. And Bruno Mars is someone who has a long-reaching, worldwide fan base. I mean, good on him.
Very good on him.
Yeah, and it's actually one of the few halftime shows at the the Super Bowl that I really, really enjoy. I don't even I watch for the commercials, and if Bruno Mars is playing the halftime show, cool, then I'm gonna watch that too.
Yeah.
And if I really want to and just get a good laugh, I'll watch Red Hot Chili Peppers with all unplugged fucking instruments.
Did they do that?
Yeah, dude, Flea was unplugged.
Really?
He was unplugged as fuck.
Not even a wireless system? Just literally nothing?
Yeah, I think the only person who was plugged was, I can't even remember his name, but I'm already zoned out because I have all these ideas in my head. Is the singer and guitar player? I think he's the only one who is wireless.
I remember I went to Trees one time to see Alter Bridge because they're my beloved's favorite band, and her brother was here, and there's a band opening for them called Like a Storm. And I remember we were outside waiting, and they checked the drums, they checked the mic, and they checked the bass. They didn't check the guitars. And as they were playing, her brother has started playing guitar, and but she has no musical expertise, and she would admit that. As a player, avid listener, just not much of a player, but there was one part of the show, I don't remember what it was, but the guitarist in front of us, the blonde-haired one, did something, and we all turned and looked at each other, and we realized, he's not playing. Neither of these guys are playing guitar. I forgot what he did, man, but it was like, holy fuck. This dude's getting paid probably a minimum five-figure salary, maybe 6. He's not even playing live. What the fuck have I done wrong with my life?
It's really
very eye-opening to hear the Red Hot Chili Peppers did the same thing.
I feel like it's more starting to hear it at Trees level.
Yeah, because
it was weird. Because at least at Super Bowl level, they want to make sure, since you're playing for millions of people that are going to be watching, maybe, you know, they play the safe route. You know, we just don't want to make sure you mess up on the song. I mean, we know you can play it, but just in case.
Sure.
You know? I mean, so I get it, but for trees, that's just
It was
so
weird.
weird. What?
It was so weird. And I saw that band on Blabbermouth recently, and whoever did their press release was like, you know, this band's been working so hard. And I was like, yeah, right. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man, if y'all need a new actor,
like seriously.
like
Sure.
I have the nasty hair, the crazy facial hair, and the kind of weird voice for it. I can do it.
It was a fun thing to see.
And those are probably the most vibrant guys in interviews too.
Yeah.
They are probably the most vibrant people in their interviews.
Yeah.
They're probably like full of life and everything. Like, yeah, man, I really like what we're doing. It's great.
There's such a great opportunity, and that's so wonderful. We're so happy to be in America. They're not even playing. It's like, man.
Jesus, man. What a trip. There is so, I mean, I guess that just goes to show there's so much mud, I guess, in what's going on. Like, I wonder what would make a band just playing at trees. I wonder what's going through their minds for that.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder that too, because, you know, Alter Bridge has Mark Tremonti, who, you know, he played in Creed and such, and but the guy, after Creed, man, he got some lessons, I think, from Michelangelo Baccio, and it shows, because his lead playing has really, really grown in the past, 10, 15 years. And, you know, I wonder what he thinks of guys, you know, not playing guitar that are touring with him, and I wonder what they think seeing this guy who has put in so much work into his instrument, you know, would never be like, I'm not playing to a track. Like, yeah. I mean, I've worked too hard for this. And, you know, it's an interesting dynamic to think of how they view each other when a situation like that happens. Or maybe Mark Tremonti doesn't care. It's not my band. What would I care?
Yeah.
You know.
You know, and, you know, these guys probably don't even know what music is. They're just here to drink and listen to good shit.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I mean, I guess just, you know, I mean, probably just at the end of the day, you know, eventually, when you do shit like that enough, it's probably going to come back to bite you.
Yeah.
It definitely will. In one way or another, you can't keep cutting corners all your life and get away with it.
Yeah.
You can get away with it sometimes, but eventually you run out of corners to cut.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have these wide lines in the picture that you cut, and you're like, fuck, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Because if you try to cut a corner here, that's a corner cutting into a corner, you get found out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always, my father and my coworker told me this. They said, you have to go through, and this was in terms of work, but I apply it to everything else. You have to always act, or at least just, you know, in public, always act like you have a camera just dead centered straight on you.
Yes.
You know, obviously in your private life, if you want to watch the weird tentacle hints, I fucking go for it. I'm not talking about that with the camera. Like when you're going out grocery shopping, when you're working, when you're interacting with people, there's a camera right there. Mm-hmm. Like TMZ is just on your shit.
It's sound advice.
Yeah, you know, you want to make sure that you are the best that you can be. And I mean, because especially for us, you look at the controversies with like As I Lay Dying right now, and most recently with.
He's the guy that like tried to kill his wife.
Yeah, by hiring a hitman who was secretly an undercover cop. Or you look at the one guy from. Oh my God, I just looked him up yesterday because. He was like in a really big band. They were really big around my high school years, and then Home Dude got caught with like child pornography.
That was Lost Prophets, right?
Yes, yeah. Lost Prophets.
I remember that story. That was a big one.
Yeah, that. Like the thing is that you do something. When you do something at that level like that, you are not just representing yourself, but everyone in your band in a way, even if they have no clue, because their name is attached to your name, it's attached to the band, and then you give them a bad name even though they don't deserve to have the bad name. Because they may not have had any idea what you were doing. I'm pretty sure everyone else in Lost Prophets like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
I think Newfound Glory went through the same thing with one of their guitarists a few years ago. Not as extreme as the Lost Prophets thing, but just, some stupid, idiotic, degenerate webcam stuff. And, it for a while it made the whole band look bad. Like, Newfound Glory, they're the one with that one guy. Even though they let him go, it's just that stigma attached to the band. I think they've kind of erased it now. Good on them.
Yeah.
But, just, that's sound advice, don't do dumb shit.
Yeah.
Like, in music, we have to present ourselves as a certain way, a marketable way, and doing dumb shit is just not the way.
And there's already odds stacked against our kind of music.
Yes.
Because it's not mainstream friendly. It's not friendly to the common family denominator.
Yes.
And so we already have a bunch of dumb pastors and priests saying some dumb shit while spitting their God in our face.
It's a very 80s argument,
Or you still have like some politicians like fucking Al Gore's wife. And you still have some people who think that way about us.
It's a very, 80s feeling that, we're all bad people.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we just play music at a faster tempo.
Yeah, I mean, look, I may talk about some crazy shit, but I'm never going to ever recommend that you go out into public with a bow and arrow and just start fucking people up. I do not recommend that. I do not condone that. If you do that, I will call you a shit person.
Yeah. Common sense, is pretty. It's a good portion of the population that's common sense.
I'm pretty sure if we actually did what we said, what we were going to do in our music, I'm pretty sure most of the human population would probably be wiped out within the 70s or the 60s or the 50s. Or even before that, some ragtime songs talk about chopping people up and cooking them. It was nuts.
I don't actually believe, especially in Dallas, there's an ice dragon out there to give praise to. I just like creating this little fantasy.
I love the album artwork for it, though.
Oh, thank you.
Who drew that?
Tom Martin of Lich King.
Holy shit, he drew the dragon fuck! That's so sick! I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude. He looks back on it now, and he's like, I'm embarrassed of it now.
Alright. Okay. Alright. So a little clap and we'll get right back into it.
No problem.
I'll let you lead it off from your initial laugh of that.
No problem. So, he looks back on it now and is embarrassed of the art, and I don't think he has any reason to. I still think that design of the Elemental Ice Dragon, that's the Elemental Ice Dragon. For no matter who draws it, it's you gotta go off that template. The detail on that, Ice Palace and the skin of the dragon is incredible. And he also did Stalagmite of Ice, and I remember Dismantle from LA, one of my, oh man, I love that band way too much. Satanic Force and their Illusions demo was so awesome. They're still going. They just kind of, randomly are like, oh, here's a new song. But they hit me up and they're like, who did your art after the Stalagmite of Ice art? Because that's who we want to go with. And man, Tom is so versatile, and we are going with someone different this time around for our album art. That's not to say Tom and I don't have a great relationship, because he did the Dragon Club art, and he did the one where we're throwing the big four into the mud pit.
That's hilarious! I love that one.
He did another one that we haven't shown yet. That's another parody, and I'm sure we'll continue to go to Tom for many, many things. And we just there was a specific style I wanted for our upcoming record. And Tom is very, as you can tell with the caricature of us with the big four, that's his style now. I think his degree from art school is more in a comic book style, and I think that's really what he's enjoying doing right now.
Yeah.
Whereas I wanted, the painted stuff, and I didn't want to make it seem like work for him, and so we went with someone else who's local. I don't know what the fuck I'll say. We went with Parker. Who's doing our album art.
Parker's amazing.
Yeah, so we went with Parker, and the progress on it, man, is it's capturing the feel.
As a Godzilla fan, he makes me super happy.
One of those pieces is the one where I saw the detail of Godzilla and I think Ghidorah, and it was just like, you know, man, like I think he's the guy. Like, I mean, because I had noticed his art before. Obviously, I mean, it's fantastic, but it was that particular piece for whatever reason I was looking at it, and I was just like, the detail and the, you know, the sizes and everything, and just the proportions and everything was just magnificent. It's just like, man, like, let's do it. Like, he's from around here. He's a friend. Like, let's help him out. You know, get some money in his pocket, and you know, the sketch he showed us initially was just like.
So yeah, we're going into all this stuff that you have planned. So let's dive a little bit further. Like, what are Insinnerator's plan for 2018?
It would be hopefully to get this album at minimum written completely, and I hope recorded. We still have a lot of 2018 left, so we can do a lot. But 2019 needs to be a big year for us. I hope we can
see the release show, perhaps.
Yes. And our album it's a concept album, and it's going to span 2 records. So it's going to be, you know, part 1 up to a point, and then part 2 to the end. And the reason we're doing that is so we can get it out for people to enjoy. We want to get. No one wants this record out more than us.
Yeah, for sure.
So we want to get it out, and it's planned 6 songs right now. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, a lot of our pieces are 10 minutes and such. So it'll be
it's
substantial.
A full-length album.
Yes, it'll be substantial at 6, and I think it won't feel like too long. You know, doing 12 pieces or so at 10 minutes. You know, that's a double album, and
essentially
that would probably tire some people out and maybe lose focus on the record, and we certainly don't want that from the audience. So
if anyone ever has to come back to an album,
that's one thing we want to avoid. So splitting in half, I think, is the way for us to go.
And but then you get like and I love it, don't get me wrong, but then you get like Beer Break, which I know it's crossover, so it's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
But or they're probably not the best example, or just like I can't really think of the thrash band, but like just like a 30-minute album from a thrash metal band, which, man, like, I don't get me wrong, I'll eat it up, but man, like 45 minutes would be great.
Yeah.
I'm a 45 to 55 minute guy. Personally.
I think we're going to hopefully get around that 40-minute mark, and because 2 pieces are 3 minutes each, roughly. One of them's for sure, and one of them has a fade out, so you know those are in the 3-minute ranges. And then there's 4 pieces that are even gonna be long. One of them I know is like 8 minutes right now, and when we get to it, there's one piece that'll be on the second one that right now is 15 minutes.
So 2018 is essentially the final clicks in the statue. You're putting the finishing details on the statue, and in 2019 is when you just unsheath that cloth.
Yes,
and I mean everything comes out in full force.
Yes, and that's why we're getting so much merch ready. And you know, I really feel like as much as it sucked taking a break from like 2014 to late 2017, early 2018, which I take responsibility for. I feel like we kind of got to like redefine ourselves and relaunch this, kind of knowing the knowledge that we have now. It's like, all right, so how do we make a big impact? How can we present ourselves as a serious band to a larger audience? And now that we've had 2 albums to figure that out, now it's like, okay, this is how we'll do it this time. And it feels like a brand new thing, and I'm so excited. And having Robert in the band has just really filled our sound. He's another person to bring in ideas, whether it be production, music, merch. Like it's just, I feel so alive now. Finally, after getting out of that old shitty job and starting a new one, and it's just very nice, and I feel
refocused now.
Yeah, perfect way. We're refocused and just so happy, and just I feel like we're coming up with material that we've wanted to say for the past few years, and it's finally from the heart to the head to the hands.
Well, you let me know if you need a opening band for your CD
Oh,
show.
dude, you know it. You know it.
Because man, oh man, because definitely on the list of bands I really want.
Oh, dude, definitely. And I mean, realistically, like maybe not realistically, maybe I'm dreaming. I'd like you guys. I would like to ask Power Trip to do it with us. You know, like we're boys in Power Trip, and like I'd like them to do it with us. It'd be fun to play with them, and maybe, man, if they're willing to do it and the money's right, maybe we can get Lich King.
Oh my
We
god.
get Condition Critical or Savagery, or man, just maybe we can get Merciless Death or something.
Holy shit. Damn, that's a CD release.
That's something I'd like to do.
That lineup is as stacked, if not more stacked, than the fucking Lich King show that happened last year.
Oh man. And Malavera's one I'd love to, especially with Parker helping us out. I'd love to have him with us. And
Mike playing bass in that band now is phenomenal.
wow.
That takes the band to new levels.
Is that Brandon anymore?
Huh?
It's not Brandon?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Chandler's no longer doing it, but I mean,
he's got enough with Exploder.
oh man, they're already working on some stuff too. I think they've already told enough people. I'm always talking to Jacob, and Jacob's like, yeah, dude, we have like a well of new songs that we're just organizing and getting ready to go. So, you know, as I said, man, we're vibrant, we're hungry, we're after it. You know, I really do feel like every band in our scene, especially in the thrash community, has the potential to break out and just do what we do best. Guys, this has been the longest episode. Okay, so funny enough, we recorded I think an hour and a half or somewhere around that, and like the memory card said, we're full now, so we went the entire time talking, and so I had to go in my room and like put all that on the computer and then delete it on here and then bring it back, and now we're back here. And I mean, I could literally go all day with you, Chris.
Likewise.
You're like, I love the conversations we're having. You're a great dude, great musician. I'm a big fan of Insinnerator.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait for all the future plans that you guys wish to bring out. Next episode, we're going to be doing another one-on-one, and this is with a certain little lovable, short-statured bass player that you may or may not know, may or may not play with me, who knows. But that guy's a load of fun, and you should definitely check that episode out too, because now the DFW Metal Mayhem is going into full effect. Don't forget, this coming up Friday, July 6th, is the DFW Metal Mayhem birthday bash show for yours truly, where I have Release the Fallen, Beer Break, KTCM 3-piece thrash band from Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
They're sick. The drummer sings. Sick. And Apophis 2036 hopped on it last minute. So you get to see Reed play. In the other band that he plays in, and holy shit, he's doing great shit there. Monday, the previous Monday, will be the first album review that I said I was going to do for the scene, and that will be comparable to the house party. House party is $5, BYOB, 420 friendly. Party starts at 7. First band is at 8. Come out, let's have some fun. As we always do. You don't get better house parties in the Metroplex than from yours truly. Then it can eat my ass. Alright. This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. Thank you, Chris, so much.
Thank you for having me.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
See y'all around.